Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and I'm here to talk about Incredibles 2. I'm sorry this video is a little bit late. I just didn't have the chance to see it when the first week it was out, but I still wanted to get my thoughts on it while it was still, relevant. So here we are. Before I begin, I should probably talk about what I think of the first one. I really like the first Incredibles. Like most people, it's really up there on the list of my favorite Pixar movies. It's the action's really fun, and the directing by Brad Bird is great. It's definitely one of the more adult Pixar movies, not just because of the some more suggestive scenes in it, but but also because of some of the themes that it deals with and stuff like that. And it's just overall a really good movie. It has its problems, but it's overall a really good movie. But as much as I love The Incredibles, I was never actively saying, oh, we gotta have a sequel to this. But as soon as Pixar started doing a whole bunch of unnecessary sequels like Cars 2 and Finding Dory, and next year we're gonna have Toy Story 4. Why? But after all of those started being announced and coming out, I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna start doing this shit, let's get The Incredibles back, come on. And now, 14 years later, the Parr family is back in their super suits. Where's your super suit? So the movie picks up literally right where the first one left off, with the Underminer drilling up into the city and robbing the bank. The Incredibles try to stop him, but ultimately get cornered by the big bad government and arrested. Superheroes are still illegal, even though they saved the world from Syndrome in the last one, and didn't really have anything happen to them. But then this guy from this company comes in, and he's like, I can make it so that, what if I could make it so that superheroes are legal again, and I can bring one of you on as an activist and put cameras in your suits and show what superheroes actually go through, so that the people won't be angry at you. And so he picks Elastigirl to come on and be basically an activist for superheroes and work towards getting superheroes legal again. Meanwhile, Mr. Incredible is home watching the kids and basically being a stay-at-home dad. And all the while, Elastigirl is trying to stop this plot by a new villain called the Screenslaver from using essentially mind control to get people to do really terrible and destructive things. So I'll be honest, the trailers for this movie weren't really doing anything for me. I was like, okay, I mean, this looks alright, but I don't know if it's gonna turn out as good as the first one. So I went in with kinda low expectations, and I swear, literally in the first 5 or so minutes, I was like, this movie's fucking awesome. I really like this movie. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's better than the first one, but it's definitely just as good. I think that the animation, of course the animation is stepped up because it's Pixar and their animations are always beautiful. But here it's especially stepped up. It's a nice mix of the cartoony character designs with really nice textured backgrounds and stuff. And I think the moments where the animation shines the most is in the fight sequences and the action, because the action is really improved over the first one. There are so many really fun action moments in this. I also like a lot of the character moments. I like how Mr. Parr is kind of taken out of his comfort zone, and I like how he has to grow closer to his kids and try to be a good dad, something that most dads should take note of. The movie's really funny, whereas I felt the first one didn't have as many laughs, but this one there were a lot of really laugh out loud moments. There's a scene with Jack the baby fighting a raccoon, and it is And it is one of the funniest things like I've ever seen in animation. It is really, really funny. I also like how the family gets a lot more attention, because in the first one it was way more Mr. Incredible centric, but this time, especially with Elastigirl being like the main character, like you get a lot more of her, you get a lot more of the kids, you get more of Jack. Not as much more of Edna, but she works fine as just kind of like someone you see for like a few minutes. Now, as fun as the movie is, it does have a couple of tiny problems. Like the villain as soon as the plot gets going, you can immediately see where it's gonna go, and the villain's like whole plan is really predictable, and it kind of gives you like two options of who it's going to be, but then as it keeps on going, it becomes more and more clear who the actual reveal is going to be. But you know, it's a kids movie. You have to make that stuff really simple so that they can understand it. But overall, I think that's really it in terms of complaints. I still really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I don't think it's better than this first one, but it is definitely just as good. I think the directing is spot on, the animation is gorgeous, the action is a lot of fun, the comedy is there, the heartwarming moments are there, and it's just great to see The Incredibles back on the big screen again. So if you're a fan of the first one, if you're a fan of just Pixar in general, and if you need another really fun superhero movie to distract you from the fact that Infinity War is still a thing, I would highly recommend seeing this. It's a really fun movie. I think I would give it a 3.5, maybe a 4. I haven't decided yet, but for right now I'm just gonna go 3.5 out of 5. Oh, actually, before I go, I need to talk about this short. You know how Pixar usually, before all of their movies, they have like a little animated short. This one, I think it was called like Bow, I think it was. And it is one of the weirdest things. I mean, like, it's like, okay, so basically the thing is, this mom is like making like these dumplings or whatever, and she makes them and she bites into one of them and it starts crying, and after that, like, she fixes it up and like puts it back together, and then it starts growing like a face and arms and legs and a body, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then it shows like a montage of them like doing stuff and like the dumpling growing up, and as it keeps growing up, it gets like more and more distant from its mom and wants to, you know, go off and do other things, and the mom is really kind of overprotective, and then the dumpling goes out one night, and then he comes back engaged. And then so he starts packing up his stuff and like moving out, and then the mom's like, no, I want you to stay here, and he like blocks the door. He keeps trying to get out the door, and eventually, it's still so weird when I'm talking about it now, but eventually like the mom gets like so like protective and doesn't want him to leave, that she just grabs the dumpling and eats him. And everyone in the audience that I saw this with, because it was a full house and we were in one of the smaller theaters, but even my mom, who I saw the movie with, we were both just sitting there like dumbfounded, like, what the fuck was that? It was so weird. And then like it starts like going into like the really like nice and heartwarming section where you know, it turns out she was just dreaming, and you know, her actual son comes back, and it's revealed that, you know, they kind of had a falling out, and it's all sweet and heartwarming. And I mean, like, I got it. I got the message that the short was trying to send, and my mom definitely got it because apparently she was almost crying by the end of it. But, I mean, I'm still like, that was really messed up. Like, Jesus Christ, Pixar. Like, but I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, cause we were in a theater with a couple of kids. I couldn't really hear any of their reactions to it, so I'm curious to see what other, like, kids who saw this movie thought of that short. Cause, like, I'm like, if I was like 6 or 7, that short would have really messed me up. But yeah, that was just something a little extra and funny that I wanted to talk about. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. More reviews will be coming as soon as I see more movies. Let me know in the comments below if you saw Incredibles 2 and what you thought of it. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more reviews and ring the notification bell to be notified of when I post something. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, subscribe to my animation channel. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.